Welcome to Pax Europiana here from Palais Coburg. That's where the Iran negotiations take place regularly, and I call no to these negotiations and no to a deal with Iran. It's a hostile power, it has not in any way in any goodwill, and it shouldn't be allowed for nuclear weapons. That's very clear, and also we should not make any kind of compromises which is open hostile state which is allied with hostile Russia. And it's one of these axis of evil countries. They are treating their population in disastrous way, and we should not make any compromises with that country. And it's also a hostile nation in their policy on Iraq and Lebanon, against Israel and against Saudi Arabia, in Yemen, and it's a very, very dangerous foreign policy actor, and we should contain it and treat it similar like Russia. If they don't show any goodwill, we are not ready for any kind of compromises with them, and we shouldn't have economic cooperation, even when it's very hard. They only want to sell their dirty carbon anyhow. That's very damaging for the environment, and they are treating their own people in disaster circumstances. Maybe not as bad as in 1979 and in the 80s when they killed so many of their own population, but still there is no goodwill, no sign of goodwill, and they may not be allowed for nuclear armament, that's for sure, and we have to contain Iran fully. And the European appeasement has really led us into the war with Russia, and now we are in this kind of crisis with Iran as well. And we should be much closer to Saudi Arabia, to Iraq obviously, and to Turkey, and build the Eastern Partnership with the Central Asian countries. I've already called for the extension of Eastern Partnership towards Central Asia, towards Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all countries but Iran should be in the Eastern Partnership, in the new Eastern Partnership, with Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova now moving up to the Western Balkans level of accession countries. Then the Eastern Partnership is basically Armenia and Azerbaijan. Belarus is part of the Russian world, or will be annexed anyhow very soon by Putin. So it's very clear the new Eastern Partnership should be centered around Turkey, then the Southern Caucasus, also Armenia and Azerbaijan, Central Asia, Afghanistan and Pakistan, and the Gulf Cooperation states, and also Lebanon and Jordan, Iraq and Israel, and no Iran. Everybody but Iran, I would say it like this, because they have proven to be a Russian proxy, and they are in that camp. Let Russia have fun with them, and we will contain both Russia and Iran as hostile powers. And that's the much better European foreign policy, and that's what I call for in relation to hostile Iran. Contain it, no appeasement with Iran, but just a very strict policy of further reducing the Iranian economy and containing the hostile ambitions of Iran. That's the much better foreign policy approach than Mr. Schallenberg, the most famous appeaser we have in Europe, appeaser of all dictators from Russia to Iran. I call for his resignation because he has damaged Austrian and European foreign policy. He's behaving as if Austria would not be in the European Union, and the Iran case is one of the many where he behaves basically as if he would be an independent big power. I cannot understand his the concepts of foreign policy, and it's certainly not a part of the European Union, and it's a big mistake, a tragic mistake. So let's close this chapter, contain hostile Iran, and make a very good cooperation with the countries east of us, from Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Azerbaijan and Central Asia, offer them support as we have in the Eastern Partnership, and make sure that all these countries are really good Eastern partners of the European Union in a new enlarged Eastern Partnership of 20, with the aim to contain Russia and to contain Iran. Thanks a lot. More to come from Pax Europiana. Bye.